Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 110th ever episode of the Dex Podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Jimmy.
And that's it.
That's all of us.
Kelly had to go to work.
One.
Yeah, this is a weird one. This is a first. This is a Pokemon podcast, the Dex Podcast first.
Yeah.
It's me and Jimmy hanging out down
Hey.
the street. Same old thing we did last week. Not a thing to do. Awful. All right, I'm back. If you have never been here before, welcome. This is the official podcast of the Dex on YouTube. We talk about Pokemon. We talk about Pokemon news. We read fan mail from Pokemon fans. Very Pokemon oriented.
In fact, almost solely and completely Pokemon oriented.
Except for the odd time when we talk about delicious cheeseburgers.
Right.
But we always start, if you've never been here before, with us just discussing our personal Pokemon weeks. So, Jimmy,
Yep.
what Pokemon stuff did you do this week?
It's been a weird one for me.
Yeah.
Pokemon Cypher 2016 is out.
Which, if you don't know what that is, it's like a 20-minute long like rap medley.
It's
That's
like
made by Shofu.
It's like if rap like mixtapes were created in the Pokemon universe, that's what it would be. And headed by Shofu, who's a cool guy, great guy. Always love working with him.
Yeah, the raps are like just as hard as real raps, but it's like nerdy
they're
Pokemon
like,
stuff.
They're like pretty G. They like they like roast people and like talk themselves up and everything. It's great. It's if you know, even if you're not into rap, I suggest checking it out. There's a big variety of people who are on it. But
As a huge
I
Pokemon nerd, it's
bit.
very satisfying.
Yeah, I worked a little bit on that. I made the intro and the outro, and I edited all the lyrics over the video.
And then you added a fan verse.
Yeah, and then I
channel.
also wrote and recorded my own one on my side channel, and it's bad, but
Now, you know
I
what?
had fun.
It pretty much stands with some of the ones that are on there.
I don't
You
know
what I mean?
I don't know if that's talking me up or insulting anybody else, but yeah, it
No,
was.
I think it was good. I think it was legit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think it was as good as like the best ones on there, but like it's your first time ever. Like it was tight.
Yeah. Fun fact: recording rap vocals is really hard.
Dude, one of the most embarrassing things in the world.
Oh
right?
yeah, it's completely like you listen to yourself back and you're like, what? What?
Oh my
That's
god,
me?
I sound like a child. Yeah.
But that and I guess in the past 2 weeks, I have settled into the most steady Pokemon Picross groove. So,
I can't believe you're still hitting that up.
it's great. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's like the bathroom game, but
Right. That's like what it is.
like
though.
I legit just keep my 3DS in my bathroom, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, I play like 1 or 2 sessions. There's like a little training thing where you do like nondescript puzzles that are like kind of like randomly generated every day, and you have like a time limit, and you just gain the in-game currency. And I like doing those a lot. And then I just slowly chip away at new puzzles and trying to basically 100% it. So
It's dope.
yeah, so it's great. Pokemon Picross, pretty fun. Would recommend.
Yeah. And what? You ended up paying like what, $30 or something total?
I haven't even actually paid the full thing. I just bought $10. There's like 2 like quote unquote like deals that they have in the store where it's like buy $2 worth of pick rights but get like $3 worth.
Ooh.
Buy $8 worth but get like $10 worth. So I just bought those 2, and I'm just kind of riding that out. I don't really need more than that because I'm like just doing fine right now.
Right, because sometimes it's totally free to play, right? Like if you just pick it up and play for like a little bit, like you're not using your pick rights.
Basically, paying for extra stuff ensures that you can play like a 5-hour session without any problems, or you can unlock all the zones. But like, I have stuff to do without unlocking more zones and whatnot right now. So
There's some measure of irony here, right? Like that this is the Pokemon game that you turn on your DS for every day. I don't know. Maybe irony is not the right word, but there's something.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's I don't know. Like we've had the discussion a few times. Like Oros caught me for like a week, and then I just couldn't stick with it. I'm really planning on sticking through Sun and Moon.
We're all
regardless.
too hyped for Sun and Moon. Like, what are we gonna do? It's too hype. We can't. Like
There's
the
so
monkey.
much.
Oh my God. She's not here, so I can't, this isn't going to have as much impact as it would have. But Kelly and I were watching the news this week, and we'll get into the specifics of that news later, but essentially we have decided to switch.
Oh yeah. I almost switched too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna switch to Moon, and she's gonna switch to Sun.
And I'm probably gonna stay Moon, but I don't know. I might go. I don't know.
I know, it's crazy, right? Moon is too hype, but then Sun is also too hype.
Everything's too hype.
Everything is too hype. Also, Pokemon Week stuff that I did this week was that I started streaming this week, and it was a huge success.
Oh yeah, that was. I tuned in for the first one. It was a lot of fun.
I had a good ass time. There was some streamage going on of Pokemon stuff. I was playing VGC and OU and random battles with viewers on Showdown. There was enough challenges that I just never really played any randos. People just kept coming out of the woodwork who I haven't even seen in months, challenging me to Pokemon battles. It was fun.
That's great.
Ray, Brown Man, Achievement Hunter Ray showed up.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Donated $69.69. Very cool stuff.
I've never met that guy or interacted with him, but I only hear good things.
Ray is a champion. I know you're not listening to this, Ray, but if someday you do.
but in the future, if you binge all 100 and something Dex podcasts and listen up to this point.
First of all, hold on before you send in your mega idea, because it might have already come in. Second of all, you're a prince among men, Ray. Stay fly forever, my dude. But yeah, that's basically my Pokemon week, has been battling that and doing card battles and getting just mopped with by Kelly. She just totally got me.
She's been crushing you with Dex versus, hasn't she?
She got me. But the challenge this week that's going live today, it's already uploaded. I don't know if you saw what it was, but it's silly.
You guys were streaming it, right?
We didn't. We streamed right after it, but it was because we didn't want to spoil the results.
Right.
But it has to do with another game that me and Kelly are very, very obsessed with. And if you want to go find out what that is, I'll just say it's Destiny. We played Destiny. They added a feature where you can do private matches. Mm-hmm. So the challenge was that we 1v1 and that she gets to pick all my gear, which was frustrating to say the least, but it was a good time. So you can go check that out right now, actually, if you're listening to this. And also, what's up to the Friday crew? Chillin'.
Yo, Friday boys.
After last week, you will find out that sometimes it pays to be on the Friday crew when your YouTube channel won't accept your upload for 4 days, and then you finally get it up in time, just in time for the next one to come out the very next day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. Before we move too far past it, if anybody out there wants to check out your streams in future, because you're gonna be trying to stream pretty regularly. Where are you streaming at?
Since that first Pokemon stream, I've done 2 other streams. So and they've each been 3-4 hours. So it's been pretty chunky. Come find me at twitch.tv/Facianea, just like my Twitter. FACIANEA.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Anything else personally you want to talk about that has to do with Pokemon? Did you buy anything? Oh, you know what? We'll talk about it, I think. But there's some cool stuff that you want that I know about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, mostly stuff I want to talk about is news related, so.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So speaking of that then, let's jump into the news. Absolutely, categorically the worst one I've ever done.
That was the best one.
It was simultaneously Schrodinger's news. It was the best ever.
Schrodinger's news.
You don't know which news it is till you open the box.
Oh, this is a weird Dex podcast, everybody. All right, let's go.
It's a weird vibe. We're it's morning. We both have coffee. It's a good vibe.
Yeah, I played Dungeons and Dragons for 5 hours last night and drank alcohol stuff. So I'm I
was playing Destiny with Strippin' and Brett till the late hours as well.
Yeah, so you get the loopy Dex podcast with only 2 people this week. It's great.
The Loopy Boys, yeah. This is the Loopy Boys podcast, episode 1.
Yeah. Let's not make that a thing.
No, it's not. But we're here. This is the news.
Hi.
Pokemon Go Plus was released this week. If you don't know what that is, it's like a Pokeball that looks like a geotag that you wear on your wrist like a watch. When you wear it, you can catch Pokemon, you can spin Pokestops, you can hatch eggs, and you can gain buddy candy all through just pressing a button on your watch.
Yep.
While your app is like closed in your pocket.
Yeah, it's basically the companion to make the game easier, especially if you are a person who's on the go all the time and you want to play it, but you don't want your phone open, you don't want your battery draining super fast.
Yeah. It's a very light battery taxing Bluetooth connection.
Right. And from what I've heard, a couple people on my feed picked it up, like, Grimecraft, obviously. I think Tom Fox grabbed it. From what I hear, it's helpful in that you don't, previous benefits, you don't have to open your phone and all that jazz, but you only get one shot to catch each Pokemon that you pass.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess the trade-off, so, like, fine. But, yeah, I don't know.
The real thing that's weird about it to me is that it's all done through, like, a series of flashing colored lights.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Which seems weird. But what's even worse, and this is the craziest thing, it seems like even if you spend $300 on an Apple Watch,
right,
they still want you to buy this because... It appears that the Apple Watch app will not allow you to capture Pokemon.
Oh.
So tight, right?
Yeah, it's real good.
Really glad that I'm going to have to,
great.
if I want, if I want to track my walking in Pokemon Go, I can't do that without wearing two watches if I want to not take my phone out all the time. I'm essentially going to have to wear an Apple Watch and a Pokemon Go Plus. And they're super hard to find, so good luck to me.
I don't know about you, but if I was to get Pokemon Go Plus, I'm probably not going to. But if I were even, I would detach that from the wrist strap immediately. And
put it on your pocket.
Put it somewhere fashionable.
I pretty much always wear button-up shirts. I could just stick it in my pocket like a pocket protector.
Yeah, I would like I don't know, snap that ish to my shoe or something. Probably not shoe. That's a bad place for it. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, just somewhere tight, like maybe like on your pocket.
Yeah.
Well, you still need to be able to see it though, is the thing.
Right, that's true.
But whatever. I'm just mad because I own an Apple Watch. I was excited for it, and now I still have to buy one of these dumb watch things. And then what? I'm going to buy also the Z-Move one, and then I'm going to wear like a Z-Move bracelet and a Pokemon Go Plus and an Apple Watch. Like some kind of like real, actual cartoon version of a millennial. It's crazy. Anyway, moving on from that, I can't really say how well it works. Everybody's saying that they were having a little bit of rough times at the start, but I think just like Pokemon Go, it's going to be getting better each time. So
cool.
Get hyped for that.
Yeah.
Also, this is a PSA. If you haven't gotten your Pokemon 20 Victini yet, the event ends Saturday. So if you're on the Friday crew, get it. If you're on the Saturday crew, you literally have to get it today. Pick up the little baby boy Victory Boy right now. Get him. Go get him online.
Little baby boy Victory Boy.
Victini is cool, man.
He is. Or it. It is.
Yeah, I like Victini a lot. We made a shirt about Victini.
We did. You can buy that at theyeti.com/thedex. That's the Yeti, THEYETEE.
Like a Yet t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, go get that. It's made by Miski, who's literally a best-selling children's book artist.
and just like a great friend.
Just a hero among heroes. And she did a little thing with the Usagi Ringo, which is like a fun way that like Japanese moms cut their apples to make them look like rabbits for the kids. It's cute. And it's Victini.
Yeah.
But speaking of buying Pokemon gear, PokemonCenter.com has stocked Halloween goodies. And the theme this year is Halloween Circus. So everyone's dressed up either as each other, which is a winner.
Right.
Or top hats and bow ties and jester outfits.
Or in the winningest of the winning.
This is like the most Jimmy product that exists in the world.
Look, guys, people, friends.
You have my attention.
Allow me to level with you for just 1 second. I do not ask people to send me things through our PO box, the PO box in like the Dex verses and everything. I also receive stuff there. If you would ever want to send me things, I would never ask people to buy me something people have before, and I've been like, oh my god, I can't accept this. If you were to send me the Eevee Halloween Circus Poke Plush, which is an Eevee in a effing pirate costume inspired by Driftblim, I would not.
It could not be more on the nose.
I would not refuse that, and I would be eternally grateful. But don't. I'm not asking, but
I literally had to take it off my nose. That's how on the nose it was.
Right. Hot damn. That is a good thing that exists, and I am incredibly impressed. And like the only thing stopping me from buying it is that I need to pay rent first. But then like, also, it like did not occur to me that it's like Halloween soon, and I have like a running collection of ghost Pokemon plushies on this like dark purple bed that I have in this room, in our guest room / my office. So, totally gonna be stocking up on everything else. Oh,
at least you don't have to worry about what you're gonna be for Halloween this year.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's true.
That work has been put in, homie.
Looking at these now, most of these are only just keychains. That's kind of a bummer. Like the Espeon, the Umbreon, the Drifloon. The Drifloon that's dressed up like a Zubat, by the way. Shout outs.
But the Eevee isn't, right? The Eevee is a plush.
The Eevee has a big version.
It's always weird. The like getting free stuff for us thing. If you want to do it, just do it. Don't ask us, because that makes us feel weird.
Yeah, I'll say no every time if you ask me.
I will say no every time. Somebody emailed me the other day and was like, yo, I got that shaman for you, bro. And I was like, I can't accept that. Like, if you sent it to me, I already have it. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
But don't offer it to me via email, because it makes me feel like I'm doing something immoral. And I kind of am, if I'm saying yes. So I don't know. Just don't feel the need to buy us something, but if you want to, just do it. Don't ask us first. Cool? Cool. Speaking of cool, the first 2 episodes of Pokemon Generations were released. And by the time you're hearing this, another one should be up as well on the Pokemon official YouTube channel. Haven't seen that one, but I did watch the first 2, and I gotta say, it's pretty cool. The only thing that was weird about it was that the first one, like, did you watch Pokemon Origins?
I watched 1 episode of Pokemon Origins.
And you didn't see the first episode of Pokemon Generations?
I did not.
Okay, so, do you remember at the beginning of Pokemon Origins that it, like, starts as the game? And then it, like, becomes the episode?
Yeah. Really like that.
Yeah, it was tight. They did it again here, except that, like, literally the episodes are 3 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
And this is, like, half the episode. It's, like, it transitioning from the Game Boy to the actual one. And then it's just, like, a cool montage, basically, for the first one. It was still cool. It's, like, a battle. Pikachu does some cool stuff. I don't want to, like, spoil it totally, but, like, because it's just, like, so new. Maybe we'll review it or do, like, a live commentary on it. I've been like working on my setup over here since I've started streaming, and I'm pretty confident that we can sit and do like live commentary streamed, and then like have those recordings to like sell for $1 if you guys want.
Yeah,
that'd be fun, right? So maybe once Pokemon Generations is done, we'll do something like that. But the second episode was about Looker.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It was really cool, except that I really thought that Looker's voice actor was like inappropriate, because like I feel like when I see Looker, I'm thinking like, yo, this dude is like shabby, almost like Professor Lupin or Doctor Who or something like that. Like some type of like, he's like kind of silly, but the Looker that they got is like a hot dude voice.
Oh.
It's weird. Like he's characterized just super weird, but I don't know. I don't know if that's like gonna be a thing we see more of or what. But the third episode is about the Elite Four, and I'm looking at it right now, and it looks really cool.
Great. I'll check them out right after, and I'll have words to say about those next week.
Yeah, I feel. I mean, there's gonna be some coming out like every couple days, so there's going to be more to talk about, but go see it. The animation is amazing, and you got to remember that these aren't in the world of the anime, they're in the world of the game. So there's like a lot of cool stuff that you don't normally see. Like there's a Machamp on the police.
Oh, that's cool.
Who instead of a battering ram just like punches a wall. And there's a part where like Magnemite does like a R2D2 on like a door thing. Like he like comes up to it and goes like, and then like opens the door with his little magnet side. He like touches the door. I just love the idea of Pokemon being used for like other
Practical
purposes.
things.
Yeah, so funny. But yeah, that's that. That's Pokemon Generations. Go check that out. It's on the Pokemon official YouTube channel, so it's free. You don't have to worry. Also, speaking of free, a Volcanion distribution has been announced for Australia and New Zealand. That's going to be running October 10th through October 31st. It's going to be given out at EB Game Stores as a code. This matches with the distribution of Volcanion in the UK and the United States as well. So get hyped for that next month. Volcanion is coming.
Yeah.
I didn't give a crap about Volcanion. And then my entire TCG deck is built around like 6 Volcanion cards.
Yeah,
Now I think he's awesome.
I mean, like, I give less of a dang about it just because after this past VGC season, it's like
VG
unlikely VG season. It's unlikely that we'll be using it in any real capacity.
Yeah, because it's probably going to be all Alola.
Well, all, not only that, but just all the Pokemon that they excommunicated from the meta were all event Pokemon stuff that you had to download one time that you can't like catch on a whim. Right.
So, we shall see what the rules are.
Right. Not that I live in Australia or New Zealand, anyway, so I can't like get this right now. But
you will soon though. That matches up with an American distribution, so you will be able to get it. But that's going to be really close to Sun and Moon, so who knows? Who cares? Sun and Moon all day. Can't stop thinking about it every day of my life.
Yeah, seriously.
And speaking of that, though, Pokemon Bank is going to be getting an update for Pokemon Sun and Moon that adds compatibility also for the Gen 1 games that were available on the eShop. So that's red, blue, yellow, and green. If you're in Japan, you can also play green. But unfortunately, that's not going to be in time for Sun and Moon's release in November. It's currently scheduled tentatively for January.
Cool.
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in how they're going to put the Pokemon from the games into Pokemon Bank and whether or not I'm going to be able to play them in Sun and Moon or not. I wonder if it's going to be like, oh yeah, you can like put them on here and then put them on Pokemon Blue and then put them on here and then put them on Pokemon Yellow. I wonder if it's going to be its own little Pokemon Bank or if it's going to be like Sun and Moon also included.
Right, like move up old Pokemon to the 7th gen.
Exactly. I think that's what it is, but I'm not sure.
I would like that. That'd be neat.
Yeah. So that's the first bit of Pokemon Sun and Moon news. The other one is that a trailer dropped, much better than last week's trailer, showcasing some version exclusive Pokemon. We got to look at Rockruff's evolution, whose English name was revealed to be Lycanroc.
Whoa,
Lycanroc. And who we know for sure, he has 2 evolutions that are dependent on your game version. If you have Sun, your Rockruff evolves into midday form, and Moon Rockruffs evolve into midnight form. Get hype. We're switching.
It's rad.
We're switching. That midnight Lycanroc looks so cool.
See, here's the thing. This was one of my points that made me teeter on not getting Moon. I actually like Day Lycanroc a lot.
That's exactly what happened to Kelly. And then this other Pokemon that was introduced in the trailer is the other thing that like sealed the deal for Kelly because she really likes the fighting type one. So 2 additional version exclusive Pokemon were introduced. One is Passimian, which is the Sun one, which is a fighting type Pokemon that is a lemur basically, and it uses berries just like their footballs and throws them to attack, which is like so damn funny.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a rugby player or a American football player. It's great.
Yeah, but scope this out. Its ability is called Receiver.
Yes.
And if you're playing a VGC or any doubles match, if your other Pokemon is knocked out first, Passimian just gets its ability.
Which is like, it's cool at the same time that it's like, but it has no ability before that.
That's true, but like think about like, okay, like you're playing like Kyogre's in, you're like doing some stuff. Kyogre's about to go down. You know what I mean?
Right, of course. Like,
or Groudon comes in and takes it down, and when it dies, you get the ability, and then without even doing a move, it's raining again.
Yeah.
Craziness.
For big abilities like that, definitely that could be game changing.
But also, its counterpart in Moon, Oranguru, which is a normal psychic orangutan, also has a crazy thing, competitive thing. Has a move called Instruct, which
this
is
one's
also
gonna be nuts.
also intended for double battles. Basically, what it seems like it can do is just like it's a repeat button. Basically, like whatever your partner did, you use Instruct, and it just does it again.
It's essentially instantaneous single-use Encore.
Yeah, but like in a way, in the same turn.
Yeah, so what the move Instruct does is any Pokemon that Oranguru targets with it, once Oranguru uses the move, it instructs that Pokemon to immediately do what they did last time that they went again right now.
So the question is, if your Oranguru is faster than you, can you like do your last turn's move and then do a new move this turn?
Yes, I believe so.
That's crazy.
I believe that's how it works. So
and I don't. Yeah.
As like a practical example. Yeah. Basically, so I have Electrode on my team. Electrode's really fast, and I also have Oranguru on my team. Electrode uses Thunderbolt to start out the turn because he's super fast. Let's just say both the Pokemon on the opposing side are really slow. So then Oranguru goes next. So Electrode uses Thunderbolt, hits something. Oranguru uses Instruct on Electrode. Electrode uses Thunderbolt again.
Again, right now.
Again, this turn. And
craziness.
Yeah, so that could be... Also notable that Oranguru has effing telepathy as his ability, one of his abilities, meaning that he can avoid moves from his...
Like Earthquake and whatnot.
Like Earthquake or Surf or, whatever.
Which makes sense because, like, if he didn't have that and you did that with that thing, he would almost certainly be killed.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think his stats are going to be that good, but we'll see when I take him to Anaheim this year. Which actually might be pretty tough based on the other news that's coming down the pipe in a little bit.
Right, but just imagine, just put it in your head, dear viewer, dear listener, the image of Rayquaza just Dragon Ascending twice in a single turn.
What about 4 power-up punches from Kangaskhan?
Please.
What about that?
No.
I don't know if there's going to be megas, but what if? Anyway, also in this trailer, this was a pretty meaty trailer for like how not meaty it seemed at first. It also showed off trainer customization, which appears to use a currency called festival coins. You can also dye clothing, which is cool. And it appears there are many more hair color and style options than in X and Y.
Which I'm happy about.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care about it that much, but like I'm excited to like be able to like express myself in that way.
I was real bored by the customization in X and Y. It was something that I was excited for that ended up not being not being even remotely expanded on. And especially hairstyles, which it was like, are you a guy? Short, medium, or long? Same style. And I was like, that's not
any sort of facial hair on that thing looked like a little girl wearing a beard. Like a fake beard. It was weird.
Yeah, so I'm excited for the new one. I might still pick Girl Trainer just because they look more customizable in this one like they were in X and Y, but I don't know.
How feel? I kind of pick male just because Kelly is like in my life and she's like a girl Pokemon trainer and I see her every day.
Right.
But like, that's my vibes. But that's not even it. Pokemon Refresh is also a thing now. It's a spin-off of Pokemon and Me where you can take care of your Pokemon by bathing and grooming them. If you do it after battles, you can cure status effects like this. And like with Pokemon and Me, higher affection gains you bonuses in battle in-game. It also mentions that you can feed Pokemon Poke Beans in this minigame, which sounds like a replacement for Poke Puffs. Cool. Don't know exactly the specifics of that, but just to be clear, I'm sure that those bonuses that you get for giving a Pokemon your affection, we were concerned about this last time. I remember when X and Y was about to come out. Basically, it only applies to single player.
Yeah, they're not going to be in. They're not going to be in actual like online battles or tournament or whatever.
Right. And finally, 2 new Z moves were revealed. Both are exclusives. Ooh. These were hilarious. One of them is for Pikachu, which is great because we already know Raichu has another one. It's called Catastro Pika.
Yeah.
It's Pikachu's most powerful attack, and it borrows its trainer's power to use the attack. Shoutouts to all the gifs of the trainer throwing him into space and then it cutting to another picture of him flying even farther away.
Right.
So good, but he does a cool move. But forget about that one because...
No, don't forget about it just yet. They do a great dance together, and it's fantastic.
That's true. They do a synchronized dance, which I can't like express it to you good enough. Just go look it up. It's funny.
So cute.
Yeah.
All right.
But then forget about that now because guess what? fighting to save the world, Eevee has a Z move called Extreme Evo Boost, where just like Mega Man and Smash, Eevee calls upon all its evolved forms to raise all its stats by 2 stages.
It's so funny.
All its stats by 2 stages.
Eevee's literally like, yo! And then everything gets dark and sets of glowing evil eyes drop in front of it. And then it's like, whoocha! And the whole Eevee evolution squad is there looking fresh
that's
AF.
Double. That's double Eevee, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Just going to quickly give you his stats real quick. That becomes an Eevee with 110 HP, 110 attack, 100 defense, 90 special attack, 130 special defense, and 110 speed. After you use that move.
Yeah.
So just think about that.
It's pretty good.
You can't have Eviolite on that Eevee anymore because you got to hold the Z move stone or whatever, but still, that's like a normal type Eevee evolution.
Right.
Which is tight because it's still just Eevee. I like it. And it looks awesome. Like you see all the Pokemon there, Vaporeon's in the center, like being a Bamf. It's dope.
Vaporeon looks so sassy.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It really, like, it's so anime-y, which I think is, like, kind of the idea of the Z moves is that they just look really, like, anime-y.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. But that's really it for the news today.
Yep.
Feels good. How was that? But actually, since our next section is the discussment, which is where we politely argue or even just agree with each other for 10 minutes about something, it's also a news story. So let's just jump right into the discussment. That's my favorite Pokemon.
I just want to say that every time you say discussment, you're getting closer and closer to the news fish from SpongeBob.
What? Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. That's all I have to say.
The discussment. All right. Okay. That's that. So we're in the discussment now. This is like an extended discussion about a specific news story. So real quick, let me just give you the rundown. So there was a huge amount of changes to the structure of Play Pokemon events in 2017.
Yes.
Which is basically the VGC Championships, Worlds, all that stuff, TCG, everything. They basically restructured it in response to it becoming more popular. And in a lot of ways, it seems like a good thing pretty much all around. But I don't know. We'll see what you guys think because there are some questions. So first of all, state and nationals are gone. Wiped out. Not part of the series anymore. Instead, there's going to be 4 huge tournaments that take place throughout the season, which are called the North American Championships, the European Championships, the Latin America Championships, and the Asia Pacific Championships. Okay. Those are the 4 regions of the Pokemon League. But anyone from around the world can travel to these events to compete in them, and there's no residency restriction at all. Each event will feature high championship points payouts and a total prize pool of nearly $250,000 per event.
Wow.
To make it easier to attend these events, travel awards and stipends will be available to players based on their championship point performance in the specific zone they live, whether it be North America, Europe, Latin America, or Asia Pacific. And that's how they're going to do those bigger tournaments throughout the year now. And they're going to happen like boop, 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 instead of like really close to each other.
Right.
Same thing with regionals, which are going to be spread more evenly throughout the season instead of being clustered into a few weekends. They also will not have residency restrictions. You can travel to foreign regionals and play in them for points and prizes.
Cool.
Yeah. Cities have been renamed to League Cups and are still being marketed as local events. Hobby stores are allowed to host one per quarter, just like now, pretty much, I think. Maybe it's a little bit different, but that's the same basic idea. Pokemon League challenges are still entry-level events, and Premier Challenge and Mid-Season Showdown events will return as local events for Pokemon video game players. So that's the basic info as it stands right now. They're also offering like scholarships and stuff for other tiers, which is cool. But the downside of this, right, is that it seems like because you can go to everything, the requirements to qualify for things are probably going to be higher.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We don't actually have the number for Worlds. We don't have the number yet for what it's going to take to get an invite to Worlds. That's going to be announced this month sometime, I think. It says it's going to be announced in September. I think that means this September. I can't imagine it means next September.
Right.
And then the thing that's weird is just like it seems like you're getting, if you look at the like point awards across the board, it's kind of like lower, like less, like the number of winners that get points is going to be less per event. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so it kind of encourages you to go to more in order to qualify. And it seems like the people who are able to do that and like drive around and fly around who have money or that are professional players, it seems like it's trying to raise the bar and get more like world-class professional players involved.
Right.
And have them show up more, and like the higher amount of prize money is more enticing to those types of people. But the downside of that, and I mean, this is just a natural thing that happens because, you know, you want that championship Pokemon play to be better than Joe Schmo off the street. And a lot of the time, you know, you hear stories of people who aren't even competitors going to a local tournament or even a regional and just like kicking booty and then like never being seen again.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of that's going to happen here because it just seems like in order to get to day 2 of Worlds, you're going to probably have to go to all 4.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Like championship tournaments.
Also, I seem to recall I just recently followed a few more people on Twitter, among them being Aaron Cybertron Zhang and world champion Wolf Glick. And I saw them having a sort of back and forth when this news came out, and it so like apparently like top cut players get some sort of stipend of travel money to like go to these things.
Right, it's $1,000 though.
Yeah, and I don't think that Wolf is getting any.
Yeah, I don't know, because here's the thing, like if you're flying around the world, right, like 4 times.
Yeah.
First of all, if you say I'm in Los Angeles and I'm flying to London, right?
A lot more than $1,000.
Yeah, I just traveled to London. Like I was able to stay in London in an Airbnb with 5 other people, and that was fine.
Right.
4 other people, but everything costs more in London. Like period, and the flight. Like if I had to pay for the flight, I would have like went bankrupt.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like maybe there's a barrier here for people who aren't taking it like as seriously like as they could be, or like maybe they can't. You know, like if you want to play and compete in Pokemon, you might just have to be okay with like not qualifying for like, you know, a world stage event just because you don't have the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's good or bad. I think it seems like across the board, people are like, this is good for Pokemon in general because it's legitimizing the competitive scene a little bit more. It's making it more competitive. It's making it bigger. You know,
right.
Like it's a world thing now. Now you can North America, Europe, Latin America, and Asia, and you're going to watch all those on stream, and you're going to see world players at all of them, and you're going to get to know all those players, and the scene is going to be a lot more like cohesive this year.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And worlds are still in Anaheim, so I'm not that sad about it.
I mean, I'm not sad at all.
Yeah. But my dream of competing in this was looking narrower and narrower, considering what's going on here. You know what I mean? Like, considering that you can go to everything and that you can get points for everything, it seems like the amount of points that you're going to need is going to be a lot higher. And I don't know if I have the time because last year was very easy to qualify for events, but this year it seems to be a lot harder. So we'll see.
Good thing this is the year that we chose to try and get in there.
Yeah, and the other thing that's weird is that there's been no mention in Play Pokemon of anything having to do with Pokken. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's just like because it's a separate thing. I don't know if that means it's dead in the water or what, but
I don't have high hopes. That's all. That's all I gotta say.
It was so hype though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
So are you feeling good about this? Are you feeling bad about this?
I mean, as someone who doesn't compete in VGC, I don't know what I feel. I'm more just gonna kind of wait to see what the more learned players are gonna speak out on this once we kind of like get into it. I do think that putting the European regional or whatever the name of it is.
The European Championship?
Yeah, the European Championship a month after the game releases is kind of dumb. Actually, it's dumb. It's not kind of dumb. It's dumb. I don't like that.
I know, but I think for them, like, their season needs to last a little bit longer than, like, 7 months. So they kind of just have to. I think that's why they're going to do. I think that's usually why that first season after the game comes out, it's going to be all Alolan. So that there's not like a huge metagame to worry about. There's going to be a small.
I don't know. That is 1 month is not nearly enough time for a meta to develop or even be like that. Even just Alolan Pokemon, like we have Z moves to worry about now. We have like other things like potentially Megas are going to go out of the rotation, and we don't know if they are or not. Like that, there's a lot to think about and a lot to be adjusted to.
It's
with
true.
The new meta, and I don't think that a month is enough if you're going to put an actual event that is actually going to have weight and clout in going forward into the actual season and like getting people into worlds. Like someone can get like way lucky because
it's true. Just remember that Evo, which is basically the world championship of Street Fighter, the final thing in the tournament was 5 months after the game came out. So the entire thing happened within 5 months.
5 months is a lot longer than 1 month.
Right, but I'm saying this is the first tournament, and Evo is like the culmination. So like they squeezed the whole time with Street Fighter V into 5 months.
I don't know.
If you're a player who is skilled at this game and who's dedicated to winning, that first championship is like a month is plenty of time for you. You're going to beat the game in 2 days. You're not even going to worry about the side quests. You're just going to get your Pokemon in battle.
I just feel that goes against the spirit of it.
I think it does too. But I think that's just sort of like a downside of... I think that's sort of just a downside of the competitive scene getting bigger. Like there's going to be one transitional period where it sucks. And I think we're in it right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Like it's weird. Like I don't know. I'm still gonna try and compete. I'm still gonna try and bring a team to as many events as I can. And if I qualify, that'd be great. Like I would love to. But I don't know about the rest of it. Like I don't know how I can go to Latin America and Asia Pacific and Europe and North America, which could be anywhere in the country. America is a big country, you guys.
Yeah.
It's a really large country to be a first world country. So flying around it's pretty
crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty spence.
It's
pretty spence. But I think that's where we have to leave it. I mean, I'm feeling largely positive about this in a macro sense, but in a micro sense, for me personally, I'm bumming because it looks like that's going to keep me out of the running this year. But we'll see. I'm glad that Pokemon is evolving, though. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
But I'll see what happens. I'll see what happens. Like I said, like you said, like we just gotta wait and see what people like Wolf and what people like Aaron and what people like just like Jay Witz. Just people who are like in the scene can like really digest this and see. And we're going to have to see how it works in implementation as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's more opportunities to attend. So like if you want to go to one, you could probably do that now. Mm-hmm. But if you want to win, it's probably rougher. Right. And I think it's kind of favoring people who've been doing it for a while and can commit the time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But that's where I'm gonna leave it right now. Mm-hmm. With the discussment. If you guys want to weigh in on this topic, send your answers into thedexcast@gmail.com. Again, that's THEDEXCAST@gmail.com. And we will read them next week during our Fanswers segment.
Fanswers, da 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 da. Fanswers, da 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 da.
Great.
Okay,
so this is the part of our show, if you've never listened before, where we go over previous fan emails, because obviously I can't read them the same week that you send them in. So this is last week. We were talking about, last week was our big theory episode about like Team Skull, Aether Foundation, Ultra Beasts. The first of many of those, to be sure, but as we get closer to the game release. But that was the first big one where we talked about theories. So there's a lot of emails here about what people are thinking and stuff. And the first one comes from Professor Dominic, and it says, "Hey Dexcast, and of course Pupboy Wallace," which is accurate because he is in the back licking himself and coughing on his own fur. Professor Dominic writing in from Lily Cove Laboratories with a Sun and Moon theory involving Zygarde. I was thinking about the mysterious green mon himself when something struck me as odd. Game Freak has, for the past few games, excluding Black and White 2, had a mandatory legendary capture as a plot device. With Reshiram, Zekrom in Black and White, and Xerneas, our broken overlord / Yveltal in XY, I can't see Solgaleo and Lunala in this light, pun intended, however. They give off a post-game vibe to me, and we've heard virtually nothing about them since the reveal of their typing abilities and moves. Zygarde has taken center stage as a legendary, and considering its ability to restore nature, it seems to be a more realistic counter to Team Skull and the Aether Foundation than using solar or lunar emissaries. Just food for thought. Hope you're all well. Sincerely, Professor Dominic, Lily Cove Laboratories. P.S. I will not apologize for the length of this email.
Thank you.
Bold.
I mean, I would agree only for the fact that, like, Zygarde stuff is, like part of the game. Like, collecting Zygarde cores is, like, part
we saw Cena, we saw Dexio. What we don't know is whether or not that quest is going to be part of the story or not. And right. I guess it's just a crapshoot at this point. But I see that. I just feel like because it's a pair, it'd be weird if there were two different games and you caught the same Pokemon in both as part of the story.
Yeah, I very much feel that Solgaleo and Lunala are going to factor into the main storyline.
It's going to be some kind of Deus Ex Machina thing, just like it is in Oros. Like, there's no reason why it needs to be those guys. Just like at the end, it's like, oh, the team is making it sunny. Use the rain guy.
Use the rain guy.
You know?
Yep.
I don't know. All right. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's impossible, and I definitely see that that's a part of the plot, or that's a part of the game, is this sort of like collecting the pieces thing. Mm-hmm. So it could be, both could be. Who knows? You never know. Like, maybe you don't even get to catch that thing because it's so big and scary. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This next one's from Travis. Thank you for that last email. This one's from Travis. It's called Colress and the Ultra Beasts. I don't know if you know this, but last time we were talking about, well, actually, basically the theory that we talked about last week was that Colress might be part of the Aether Foundation.
Right.
Because he really looks like it. But
yes.
Hey guys, Travis here. I love what you guys do. Thanks for the years of work with the National Dex and the Dexcast. Thank you. To expand on the common Aether Foundation and Colress theories, what if Colress and his family, which would be in this case Lusamine, Lily, and Gladion, founded the Aether Foundation to increase the power of Pokemon? Colress, in his travels in Black 2 and White 2, saw that Pokemon and the relationship to trainers increases their strength. Then, in Pokemon X and Y, a backpacker states that Colress told him that the stones emitted a strange energy, meaning that he was studying Mega Evolution in Kalos in the Mega Universes sometimes before the events of Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, seeing as how Black 2 and White 2 take place during the events of XY according to Game Freak's official timeline. Theory time. So, if Sun and Moon takes place in the Mega Universe, then Colress would see that both Mega Evolution and Z moves require both humans and Pokemon to be strongly bonded. Both of these bring out the true power of Pokemon. So then the Aether Foundation rescues injured Pokemon, experiments on them to bypass this required bond. Lusamine, the elder daughter of Colress, stays by his side and completes his research. Gladion, the son and middle child, gets angry at the situation and joins Team Skull to rebel, but retains the focus on Pokemon power as their enforcer, while discussing Pokemon getting hurt as a downside. Lily, the youngest and most innocent, runs away to do her own thing as a professor's assistant and stay in hiding. Colress is crazy and says in Black 2 and White 2 that he believes in bringing out the power of Pokemon through science, even if that science is without conscience. So to create a bond between humans and Pokemon, he literally bonds humans to Pokemon in the Aether Foundation, creating the Forbidden Chimeras, the Ultra Beasts. Because they have a bond, they should be able to Mega Evolve or use Z-moves without the need of two separate beings, a human and a Pokemon. Colress sees this as an honor and creates Chimeras of Lily and either Lusamine or Gladion, depending on the version of the game you play. I'm going to leave the rest of this theory in my head until I know enough to make a call. Anyway, keep doing what you do and inform the world about the wonders of Pokemon. Travis. Sorry for the long email. Hashtag, it's not a long email.
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know if that's going to be one-to-one, but I think that theory definitely has legs. I think that's well thought out and everything.
I doubt that we're going to see Colress.
Yeah, yes, I doubt that. I doubt that Colress is going to show up in any way.
Right. But I think it's your head's in the right place with everything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, this next email I'm a little bit biased towards because it's called Breloom Boys. But it's from Jared. Hey Dex crew, hey Wallace. I'm writing this email purely to express my appreciation of Alex's love for Breloom. Breloom has been my favorite Pokemon for a very, very long time, and I still hold a special place in my PC boxes for my original Breloom from Sapphire. Dr. Bray. Great. I almost lost it right there because I read Dr. Bray and then I had to say it. He is the coolest. I have 3 competitively trained Breloom at my disposal, 2 different Poison Heal sets, one is Sub Punch, the other is Swords Dance, and a shiny 5IV Technician that I treasure so very much. I love his derpy smile and his vacant stare, and if Pokemon were real, he and I would be seriously the best bros. A while ago, I commissioned a friend of mine to draw me hanging out with Breloom and my second favorite Pokemon, Piloswine. I'll attach that picture, which I use as my Facebook profile picture for several months in 2011. That's all. I just wanted to express my affinity for Breloom. Thanks for spreading the good news, Alex. Can't wait for Sun and Moon. Also, thanks to all of you for being such a positive force in the Pokemon community. Your sunny outlook on all things Pokemon, even the things you don't necessarily agree with, is so refreshing and level-headed. Keep up the great work. If you're ever in Milwaukee, let's grab a beer and nerd out, Jared. And this is a great portrait. It's like very trippy looking. He's like sitting on his couch. He's wearing like an old-timey hat. Breloom's peeking over his shoulder while he's playing video games. Like, what are you doing, bro? And Piloswine is just like vibing out on the couch, looking like a pile of fur.
Swine.
Pile of swine, yes. A big pile of pigs chilling out on the couch. All right. Hell yeah. Breloom is the freaking best. Like, don't even. It's tight. It's tight. Rock, what's it called? Rock Tomb? Takes out Charizard Y and Talonflame like on a clean matchup. Like you use that, you're probably going to take them out.
Nice. So
tight. Even with priority Gale Wings, whatever. Very cool stuff. This next one is from a not-so-ace trainer. It's a Catastropika. Not really. Hey, Alex, Kels, and Jimmy. My name is a not-so-ace trainer.
Hello.
Which I call myself as a joke because my PSS profile icon is an ace trainer, but my team would get destroyed competitively. And this last trailer somehow increased my already maxed out hype. With these new Pokemon and features, I want to share some thoughts on the trailer. Passimian. Hidden ability speed boost and able to learn Baton Pass. As a soccer player, it feels just right. I'm with you on that. Is that right? Its hidden ability is speed boost?
I think that's speculation.
If it is, dang. Type Null was seen using what looked like a grass-type move or a bug-type move. Maybe this shows that although it's normal, it can learn a large variety of moves. I'm pretty with you on that, based on how that Pokemon
logical.
looks. I'm pretty much convinced that the starters will have 2 evolutions like Rockruff, but I'm not sure if I'd rather have it as a version-exclusive evolution or a time-of-day thing. Thoughts? I would like it to be like a stone or something like that where I could just pick.
I mean, I'm shocked that nothing has referenced Sunstones and Moonstones. That's a thing. That's just a thing we've had for generations.
Yeah, I think this is a thing, like if they show up anywhere in this game, I think it's here.
Yeah, but I do agree that there's likely going to be alternate evolutions per game, which would be rad.
This goes back to that same trail, this same like leak that basically said that Rockruff is going to evolve into two things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it has a couple other things that were completely right in it. And so I'm wondering if that's the connection they share, because in official stuff, it says that Rockruff shares a special connection to the starters.
Right.
So that could be real. I don't know what the vibe is on that. Going on. Although I hope they don't reveal too much more new Pokemon unless there's a lot more than we think there are, these trailers are a great way to hold me over. My last wish is Mega Evolution. I know it's oversaid, but I think I have a theory on why they aren't saying anything. I was listening to an old podcast, and Alex mentioned how it was disappointing that in ORAS we'd already seen all the Megas in the game before its release. Maybe they want to surprise people. Anyway, this email's a bit all over the place, so I'll go. Just one more thing. I love the updated character customization. Keep the hype train going, a not-so-ace trainer. Seems like we're on the same page here.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Pessimian with speed boost would be great. I wish that there was some way that he could like have speed boost and then still get the ability of your partner when he goes down, but whatever. Type Null as a Chimera that can do all types of moves is kind of like the vibe that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Megas. We'll see. I would be pleasantly surprised if there were new Megas, but I'm not like banking my enjoyment of the game on it anymore.
Yeah, I'm doubtful that there will be new Megas, if any.
Yeah. All right, let's do 2 or 3 more. Thank you for that email.
Sure.
All right, this next one is from Isaac. Pokemon Generations Theory. So with the release of the game mechanic of the games being 12 hours apart, it really reminded me of Generation 2. Also, when I think back to Generation 6, it has a strong connection to Generation 1, with their starters being available, the Pokemon Origins mini-series and the Megas only being Generation 1 Pokemon. So, if Generation 7 is paying homage to Generation 2, we can logically assume 2 things. 1, we are going to either go to another region in Gen 2 fashion, or we will get new baby evolutions. 2, Generation 8 is going to play homage to Gen 3. Also, if I want to really take it out on a stretch, the generation that holds the remake of Gen 1, Generation 3, was remade in Generation 6, so Generation 4, the generation that holds the remake of Generation 2, is confirmed for remakes in Generation 7. I wouldn't use the word confirmed there, but...
I mean, like, every time remakes are brought up, I'm just going to restate, all of the remakes are 5 years apart. Like, almost to the day.
Yeah, and each one is in one gen.
Like, Fire Red and Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Oros, all exactly 5 years apart. So
we got some time.
Like, I wouldn't say... I would say put your money on the fact that we're going to get Gen 4 remakes 5 years after Oros. That makes the most sense to me, as opposed to... That is the most quote-unquote confirmed thing.
I think we're going to get them on NX.
I don't.
Just kidding. I don't know anything about the NX. Hashtag SFTLEM, which I think is an acronym for sorry for the long email, which is great. Hashtag really a stretch. Hashtag Team Mystic. Hashtag Team Moon. Hashtag Team Litten. Hashtag if not, then Team Rowlet. Hashtag Hype Train. Hashtag sorry for the long hashtag section. Hashtag sorry not sorry. Hashtag why would we put hashtags in our emails. Hashtag bye for now. Isaac.
I mean, I don't think we hashtagged at all up into the Fanswers segment, so... They're just covering our bases.
Hashtag mistake.
Shoot. Hashtag shoot.
Shoot. Hashtag shoot.
Shoot.
Shoot. All right, this next one is from Steph. Have we been looking at Ultra Beasts all wrong? Also an in-depth Gladian theory. Hey, lovely Dex Cast. Steph here. Why, hello, Steph. First, I want to thank you again for reading my email last week. It still makes me happy thinking about it. While I was listening to last week's podcast, I ended up thinking about a possible theory. It's a bit long, so I'll jump in. Here's what I came up with. Lusamine, Gladion, and Lily are indeed related, but they didn't start out as humans, nor are they results of hybrid experiments. Perhaps the Ultra Beasts are their original form, and instead of being siblings, they are merely the same species, hence the similar human traits. So yeah, pretty much like aliens. Not so much space aliens, but more like trans-dimensional beings. From the upside down. Just kidding. Maybe they're coming to Alola to stop Pokemon battling or help Pokemon, which is why all their characters have dialogue, suggesting that they don't want Pokemon to get hurt. Perhaps they are part Pokemon themselves. I bet they take on human forms to blend into society. Perhaps they've been living in Alola for some time, and they all started the Ether Foundation together, but Gladion and Lily eventually branched off. To support this, in one of the Japanese trailers, they show UB1 for the first time coming out from a portal. The protagonists are with Wick and Lusamine. Note, Lily is not present, and the kids' faces are tense and threatened, while Lusamine seems more surprised than anything. Probably because she knows it's Lily, but isn't sure why she's spawning in Ether Paradise. Just like everyone has been saying, UB1 is Lily and Lusamine is UB2 Beauty. And even though Gladion doesn't look much like UB2 Absorption, I believe it is indeed him. Now my proof. First, Gladion is the only Team Skull member so far to wear black and red clothing, which by the way has no skulls on it, which is suspicious, and it matches his UB's color scheme. Second, the black spikes on his hoodie almost perfectly match up with the spikes on UB2's head and shoulders. The tears on his clothing are also reminiscent of the silver lines on UB2's body. But why are his clothes torn? Maybe because his clothes tear when he turns back into a UB. Third, since it is a mosquito and its name is Absorption, we can infer that he needs to sap power or energy from somewhere. The Sun Moon website even speculates if the UB can use its mouth to attack, which I think it does, in the same way a mosquito uses its mouth to draw blood. I think he needs to do this to sustain himself, maybe even to maintain his human form, so maybe that's why he does that weird thing with his hand during his battle intro. I hope this is enlightening in some way and not too redundant. What do you guys think? I personally don't care if I'm right or not, but it's fun tossing a theory into the mix before the games come out. If you read this, thank you. This email is actually for real too long, so there's only time for one hashtag. Hashtag bye. P.S. I tweeted this to Jimmy, but have you all seen the latest Halloween merchandise? I'll attach the pic. The Espeon is too cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have seen that.
We've discussed it extensively. The Umbreon with the top hat, like Haunted Mansion Umbreon, is also very good.
Yeah.
And also Mimikyu Pumpkin is the best.
Is the butt?
Mimikyu Pumpkin is the butt. No, is the best. I think it's supposed to be a Mimikyu. I don't know. It's definitely a Pikachu.
Yeah.
Also, Plusle and Minun are like little pumpkin friends, and that's funny. Anyway, no, I don't think this is a stretch, and I don't think this is the most like well thought out version of this theory that I've heard so far.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
Gladion especially, like this seems the most like because it doesn't bring in something crazy like Colress or something like that.
Something like, that we have no basis of yet.
Yeah. I like the idea of their original forms being Ultra Beasts.
I don't think that they're going to be Ultra Beasts first. I'm still very firmly in the camp that they are humans first.
You think it's like an accident?
I don't know. I'm thinking, if not accident, maybe more of a Nina from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood situation.
Some kind of weird, like...
Sorry that I brought that up. Everybody, I apologize, but...
Dude, no. Full Metal Alchemist is a pretty, like... appropriate thing to bring up, considering...
No. It's just that's the part that everybody gets mad when you bring up, because it's...
Oh, just because it's a rough part?
Just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Based on the way that they're going about it, I didn't connect Gladion and... UB2 Absorption because I didn't connect like the hood thing or the slices, so I guess it is more apparent than I thought. But the way that like Lusamine is like going about her, her whatever, and is that her name, Lusamine?
Lusamine is the like one that's not the professor's assistant. She's the one that's UB2.
And then like I don't know. I feel like.
It's pretty damn clear that she is that Ultra Beast.
Yeah, I mean, her and Lily are pretty clear. I don't know.
I mean, less clear with Lily, but like,
no, I think it's still
pretty damn. Like I think Lusamine looks exactly like her thing. Lily is almost certainly hers, and then Gladion, it's like throwing dice in the corner.
Sorry, I'm like trying to formulate this on the fly. I can't decide if I'm in the camp that they are that it's accidental or on purpose, and Lily and Gladion are like rebelling because of that. Also, I just want to point out, thank you for pointing out that Gladion is the only Team Skull member to have any red in his color scheme and also not have skulls. I did notice that when he showed up, and in my original theory that I wrote out about like how the plot's gonna go, I totally think that Gladion's a turncoat and he's not gonna be Team Skull.
I wonder if that means he just ran away or something like that. Like maybe he just joined up with Team Skull and he's like helping them like make some waves.
He's Team Skull's enforcer. I don't think he would get to a place like a place of power in the team initially.
Right. Well, but imagine Team Skull is like a street gang like from like Oliver Twist or something. Like they're like an organized gang of like punks and losers, right?
Yeah.
And then they just kind of like are mad at the world, and they just kind of like do things like steal purses and trick people and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, Gladion shows up and he's like, I hate my dad or something like that. And he's like, well, come with us and we'll show you how to really stick it to your dad.
Yeah.
And then, for like 3-4 months, he's rolling with this weird Team Skull crew and he's like taking them into the big time. You know what I mean? Like maybe something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I do not think that Gladion is going to have any real allegiance to Team Skull.
Do you think that he is Absorption?
I think it's sensible.
It's sensible.
Yes. I think just based on logic, I think that's probably true.
Jaffiel. All right. Let's do one more. This one is from Ender Spy. Theory time with Ender Spy. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, Alex, Kelly, Pupboy Wallace, Schrodinger's Jimmy, and maybe guest. I'm Ender Spy, or at least that's what I call myself on the interwebs. I'm a longtime fan, first-time emailer. I got a lot of theories, so prepare for maybe an actually long email. I can tell you already, just from visual cues, that this is a pretty damn short email. Let's start with the simple one. Look at the Ether employees. Now look at the Rangers. Don't they look kind of similar? Maybe Ether used to be part of the Rangers, but they broke off due to differences in ideals. Not sure what the Rangers are. Is he talking about the ones in Sun and Moon?
Pokemon Rangers?
Pokemon Rangers are like the red suits?
I don't know. I would assume that's the only thing that comes to mind.
Or maybe like the Park Ranger type characters in Sun and Moon?
I don't know.
All right, well, I said it, so you can think about it in your own minds now, listeners. Now let's start with this. Now for the big one. I think the Ultra Beasts are from an alternate universe in which they became the dominant species instead of humans. As such, 1 and the 2s aren't our Lily, Lusamine, and Gladion, but rather their alternate universe equivalents. As such, we could end up seeing UB versions of other characters as well, like Kukui, Hao, and Guzma. Perhaps the player's UB equivalent will even be the final boss. If they really want to go all out, they could do UB versions of characters from previous gens as bonus bosses. I mean, what sort of awesome beasts would the likes of Cynthia, Wally, Sycamore, and Giovanni look like in the UB universe? Now to bring us on home with one final thought. Megas are absolutely not gone. While Game Freak often removes things between games, they've never removed anything from the battle system, only added and changed. Not to mention that the bottom of the Z-Ring has a slot that is clearly intended for a keystone. The idea that they would remove them just seems ridiculous to me. Now, they might be restricted to the post-game, but that's likely as far as they would go. Anyways, thanks for reading this, you guys, and keep being cool. Sunglasses. I like the idea of this alternate universe theory, for sure. I think, like, if we're going to get into, like, alternate universes in the Pokemon world in a big way, I could see there being, like, a world with no Pokemon where people have the power of Pokemon. That could be, like, a cool thing, but I think it's more likely that Ether is like turning people into these things.
Yeah, so I mean, this is not to discredit the theory, but I just do not like alternate universe stuff in general. I would be a little disappointed if it was like the alternate universe kind of thing, like, oh, they're from a multiverse and these are, like, I don't enjoy that stuff. That always, like, it just gives me like lazy writing vibes.
If it speaks to deeper Pokemon lore that like goes to like the origin of Pokemon, like think about it like this. Like if it was like it's an alternate universe where instead of the animals getting the powers, the humans got the powers from wherever Pokemon came from.
Yeah.
And that leads me to finding out where Pokemon get their power from, then I'm into that. But you got to think about like if that was what Ultra Beasts were, and like part of it was going to be that you're going to see like all these characters as Ultra Beasts, don't you think that they would show off like that Cynthia Ultra Beast or that Steven Stone Ultra Beast just to like get people hype?
Okay, two things. The only thing I agree with you on is like using that plot device to find out like where Pokemon got their powers, etc. That would be cool, but I still don't like alternate universe thing. I don't really like the like whole Hoopa dimensional portals thing. Like I'm very against that, and it's still, even in that sense, it screams like lazy writing or like really like a stretch to me.
Sure.
Personally,
sure,
it's
absolutely.
And as far as the like if there are other, Ultra Beasts of like other characters that are established and everything, I would be more in the camp that they wouldn't show them off because of how much stuff they've shown. And like, I don't think that they're trying to get the Gen 4 crowd, Right. They already have the Gen 4 crowd.
I just mean like, if that's what the point of the Ultra Beasts were, I think they would have advertised them differently instead of tying them so closely to.
Yeah, Ether. I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And as for the last thing, like, this is not directly towards you, but it seems like a lot of people are using like saying megas are still in the game, but then the evidence is just like, that'd be crazy if they got rid of megas.
Yeah.
Which, like, it just, like, why would they, like, I don't know. I don't think that they're going to make megas a focus of this game. I'm not going to say whether or not they're going to remove megas from the game, but, like, you yourself said, not you, Jimmy, but you Ender Spy, said that the only things they've done to the battle system is added and changed. And it's like, like, there are things that have been removed, like all the elemental stones, for example, just aren't in the game anymore, which were kind of a big part of like.
Oh, the gems.
Yeah, like pretty much.
Yeah.
Like the normal gem is the only one that's in Gen 6, and I think the fairy one is also.
And the fairy one, yeah, because they added fairy, but obviously it wasn't like hard removed, but at the same time there was no way to get any of those things, and that made it like a less viable strategy. I'm not going to say that they haven't removed anything. I think that they have definitely made like solid pushes to phase things out for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I just think like it's not insane to imagine that they would shake up something like this in a game where it doesn't seem like there's gym leaders, where it doesn't seem like there's an Elite Four, where it seems much more quest based, where, I think if there's a game where they get rid of a lot of stuff and refresh a lot of stuff, I think this is the game where that's going to happen.
Also, like, gosh, I had a thought and I lost the second I said also.
It went away.
Yeah, it just drifted off into the nether. Rip.
It was something piggybacking on what else.
No, I know the thought train, but I can't formulate it anymore. Yes.
We shall see is the reality. We don't have enough information to say. And like thinking about whether or not megas are in the game right now is kind of silly because all we can really do is be like, that would be weird, or like, that is not that weird.
Oh, okay, I remember. The other thing that I would say is a good reason for them taking out megas is that megas was a Kalos thing, like specifically tied to the plot of Kalos and
Oros.
And Oros, yeah, they rewrote the plot of Oros to have it so that like Rayquaza was pivotal in like Megastones and stuff in that region. Like those are two like solid plot devices that make Mega Evolution a thing in that zone. And you can argue that they're in Pokken, but like Pokken's pretty far removed, I would say.
Pokken is like
Pokken's a spin-off.
Same. Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that if anything, removing Mega Evolution to like kind of less like to not muddy the plot and the what they want to focus on, which would be like Z moves and stuff, I think that would be not a crazy thing.
Right. I think in both cases, right? Like right now, all we have to go on is like, that would be weird, or like, that's not that weird.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to come down on either side of it until I see some sort of, thing like that says it either way. But like, honestly, I think it's totally possible that they got rid of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think that's where we're going to leave it today. If you want to send your email in to the Dexcast so that we can read it next week on our Fanswers segment, send it to thedexcast@gmail.com. Again, that's THEDEXCAST@gmail.com. How do you even know about this podcast and want to write in if you still have to tweet at me to ask me where to send in the email? I get 5 to 10 a week. Still, 110 episodes in.
We should just rebrand the podcast to
Send
emails to the dexcast@gmail.com.
You know what?
podcast.
I just don't reply to those people anymore because there's no excuse. If you're listening to the Dex podcast, you have to hear me say this every week. There's no way that you don't.
Honestly, just a general rule of thumb, 97, let's say, % of questions that you have can be solved with a cursory Google search.
Yeah. I don't make it hard to, interact with us. The rules are very well defined.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Jimmy, thank you for coming on to Loopy Boys Podcast, episode 1.
Yeah, I am. I feel exhausted, but
yeah, we got in there.
Friday morning is not like a thing that I do,
Right? No, me neither. Believe me.
Typically, Friday afternoon is like when I wake up.
Yeah.
I have to edit another podcast after this.
Yeah, I'm gonna literally turn around, edit this, and put it up.
Great. Let's have some edit boys time.
Yep. If you want to go check out me and Kelly 1v1ing each other in Destiny, go check it out on our channel. That's something you can do if you want a little bit more Dex and you're missing Kells.
Mm-hmm.
If not, stay tuned till Tuesday. We got a really hilarious episode of the Dex for you that's really, really unorthodox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In any case, I'm Alex.
I'm Jimmy.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Later, man.